Cool. Settle yourselves into a comfortable position. And that can be anywhere you want it to be, as long as it feels comfortable for you. And then breathing gently in through the nose and out through the nose. Enjoy these few moments of silence. If you're lucky enough to be in silence, that is. And observe the stillness in your body. Then observe the movement of your body. And then observe any emotions that occur right in this present moment. And once you've observed them, don't think about them again. Don't question them, don't judge. You've just made yourself aware, that's all. Now observe the temperature of your breath. And does that change if you breathe in through the nose or in through the mouth? Observe the temperature of your body, the temperature of your skin, and even the temperature inside, deep within you. Notice the feeling of your clothes on your skin. Notice the feeling of any hair that may be touching any other part of your body. And feel the connection you have between your body and the floor. Today's intention is to move mindfully. To observe everything that your body is doing in that particular moment. Never questioning why something is like it is, just observing and feeling and being. It's often a really good, useful and helpful skill that's going to enable you to be more objective in everyday life. If we learn the skills of being mindful, observation, and being calm in that observation, it's on the mat, it transfers to daily life off the mat. So as you are in whatever position you're in right now, you're going to take a breath in, and as you do, notice how your inhalation floats your arms up, either overhead or towards the ceiling, and then overhead if you're laying down. And on the exhale, just notice the connection, the softness when you're there. Inhaling, allow your arms to return back to your sides. And then exhaling, noticing how it feels there. So breathing in, lifting. Breathing out, feeling. Breathing in, returning the arms back down. Breathing out, noticing how you can relax more. And then just keep moving. What can you feel as the arms reach up? Can you feel your rib cage flaring up? Does it make your back lift off the floor? Arms come down again as you inhale. And as you exhale, do you feel more relieved? Do you feel heavier? There's no right or wrong. You can feel anything that you want to feel. Maybe it's not even what you want to feel, but it's anything that you feel. The next time your arms are by your sides, you're going to draw your knees in towards your chest. And then give your knees a hug. Yeah, give your knees a hug. Poor little knees, they've needed a hug for a while, haven't they? Have a gentle roll from side to side. What do you observe here? Does it feel like relief on your lower back? Does it feel restrictive? Take your feet up towards the ceiling, draw the knees apart, and then reach on to hold your feet, your calves, or your thighs, that happy baby pose. Now here, your spine is long, so nothing should have changed to that feeling of your back on the floor. But we just feel the space increase in the inner thigh. Now, do you notice symmetry? Or do you notice differences? Maybe having a little rock from side to side. Draw the knees back into the chest, give them a little hug, and then sit yourself up. And bring your legs in front of you in any comfortable seated position. So you could be cross-legged like me, you can sit on something if that works for you a little bit more, or anything that feels good. And then we're just going to take a few rolls of the neck. Now this is definitely one to be very mindful of. If we tip the head too far back, it can make us feel dizzy. And especially if we're holding a lot of tension in the neck, we need to move carefully, change direction. Maybe you feel a little bit of popping every now and again, or a little crackling. Let's take a gentle stretch of the neck. So hand either behind the ear with the chin towards the opposite armpit, or keep the head facing forwards, hand level with the ear as you rest your arm and create a little heaviness there. Your other arm can reach out or bring it to the floor, your choice. And just take a few circles, so 3 circles in each direction. Just observing how that changes any sensations. And then press the head into the hand to return back up. So you're upright and you change sides. Hand either behind the ear for less intensity or on the ear for more. Head over facing forwards or chin towards the armpit. Maybe this side needs something different. It's up to you to work that out. Reach the arm away. Because often we're not perfectly balanced. One side can feel very different to the other. And making those observations tells you more about what you need. Circle the arm 3 times. Can be small, can be big, your choice. In each direction, that is. Gently push the head into the hand to return it back. Up to seated. Swap your legs around the opposite way if you're sat cross-legged. Inhaling, draw the belly in. Exhaling, push your sit bones to the floor equally. Then inhale again, and we side bend over to one side, doesn't have it. Exhale and stay. Inhale, side bend the other way. Exhale and stay. So we're spending a little extra time rather than just flowing side to side. Well, we are flowing side to side, but instead of 1 breath per movement, we have 2 breaths per movement. So inhale, exhale, inhale, lengthen more, exhale, deepen more. Inhale, lift the rib cage from the hip bone. Exhale, ground the hips. Inhale, feel the space that you've created. Exhale, can you go deeper? 1 more each side. Really feeling how the inhalation creates the space in the body. Excellent. Bring your hands, well, take the feet behind you first of all. Bring your hands onto the floor. And let's find upward cat, downward cat. Inhaling. Let's just focus on the shoulders first. Draw the shoulders back. And then round the shoulders into downward cat. Inhaling, pulling the shoulder blades back and together. Exhaling, separating the shoulder blades. Pushing from the chest. And then if we take the focus into the pelvis, tuck the tailbone in downward cat. Arch the lower back in upward cat. And what do you feel? Does one part of the pose or one part of the movement feel better for you than the rest? Maybe you instinctively want to wriggle your hips a little or wriggle your chest a little. Go for it, be creative. Give your body what it needs, because that's the whole point. Maybe even try to rocking back a little bit more in your downward cat with a real tucked tailbone. And then that's going to get really nicely into the lower back. After your next exhale, downward cat, come into child's pose. So your knees are wide, feet together. Reach the arms along the floor. Tuck the tailbone a little bit more. to get deeper into the lower back. Now, what does your body need? Does it need to just stay here? Do you need to lift your hips a little bit higher and quicker to relieve any tension behind the knees? Or do you want to just lift your hips higher so you can get a deeper stretch in your chest and your lats? Maybe finding the diagonal reach. Or changing the positioning of your legs a little. So instead of having feet together, having your feet apart so your bum can sit between the heels. Knees are still roughly hip distance apart. So this W shape of the legs can help relieve any tightness in the internal rotation of your hips. So it's all about giving your body what it needs. On your next inhale, reach your arms a little bit further forwards. Shift your weight forwards, tuck your toes, lift the hips into downward dog. Hands are shoulder width, feet are hip distance apart. Soften the knees here, just so it feels like you can keep the length all the way along your back. So we're neither rounding or arching. Long and free. Then if it feels good for you, drop your heel one at a time down to the floor, pedaling feet up and down. Stretching out the calves. So you can try 2 different ways of doing this. The heel that's going towards the ground, if you keep that leg straight, how does that feel? Then if you bend that knee more, how does that feel? So straighten that leg, bend the leg, all with the heel reaching to the ground. Straighten, bend, then swap over. So this just helps us to get into the 2 different calf muscles. One your gastrocnemius, one your soleus. Walk your feet towards your hands. Feet hip distance apart, forward fold. Bending your knees as much as you need to bring your chest close to your thighs. Crown of head drops to the floor. Now, how is this feeling today? Where can you feel your weight distribution? Is it towards the back of your feet? The front of your feet? Or is it over the center of your foot? Have a little play around and see where you can connect more with the stretch in the back of your legs. Slowly rolling up to stand. Now, as you do this, pull the belly in. Slowly walk your eye gaze forwards. Take your arms up overhead and do a really long stretch through the side of the body, side bending over to one side, and then returning up and side bending over to the other. So here, when we're in a true side bend of the spine, hips stay completely still. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let your arms just come down by your sides. And then you can walk your feet in a little closer if you wish. You can have your feet together if you wish, just where it is comfortable for you to stand. And then you're going to spread your toes and the ball of the foot as wide as you can. Shift your weight forwards, lift your heels. Shift your weight backwards, lift the toes, but push down through the ball of the foot. Let's do that again. Shift forwards, lift the heels, shift back, lift the toes. Now, what else you can think about here is when you shift forwards to lift your heels, can you draw your heels in towards each other? And as you do that, can you feel your bum squeezing? As you lower the heels, and you rock your weight back, can you press more into the inner edge of the feet as the toes lift? Nice. So it's almost like we're rocking from inner edge to outer edge. So land the toes, shift the weight so you're over the center of the foot. And then when you're there, then start to draw the weight to the outer edge of the heels, outer edge of the feet even, and then lift the heels as you're squeezing the heels towards each other. So we land the heels, find the center of the feet, and then as we rock back and lift the toes, press down through the inner edge of the foot. Yay. Nice, nice and mindful movement through the feet. So feel free to just do that at your own speed, your own pace. And then try it with your eyes closed. If you're worried about falling, place your hand on something or stand close to a wall. And then just notice how things change when you've got your eyes closed. Can you even keep your eyes closed? My natural instinct is just to open them. Awesome. What you're going to do now is you're going to slowly walk backwards. So as you do, you're going to take small steps. You're going to start by placing the ball of the foot down and then roll through the foot until that heel lands, and then the front toes start to lift up. And then place that foot, toe down, roll through the side of the foot, rock back onto the heels. Heel this foot off the floor. Place the foot down, just rock back. So we get that, we can feel everything, the connection with the ground, the spreading of the toes, how your movement in the foot rocks side to side. Once you've got to the back of your mat, we go forwards again. So this time, small little pigeon steps, land the heel. Then we're going to roll from the outer edge of the foot to the inner edge of the foot. It's actually really hard to do in slow motion. When you walk, naturally you land more in the supination, so the outer edge of the foot, and you roll more into the middle to push off. So when you're thinking about doing it slowly, it can really help improve your gait. Remember, when we go backwards, if you land the ball of the foot, roll down through the inner edge of the foot, and then as you rock back onto the heels, that's when you then go to start to roll into the outer edge of the foot. It makes me do funny things with my hands. I start to do like claw hand. So I'm just going to head to the front of the mat again. Ooh. That was really fast, Tina. When you're there, you're going to take a breath in, lift your arms up overhead, and then on the exhale, bend your knees, hinge forwards and fold. Then when you're there, just take another breath in, lift your tailbone up to the ceiling, and then on the exhale, shift the weight more into the front of the foot. Step your feet back into plank. Then you can stay on your toes or drop to the knees. And as you exhale, lower down really slowly. So you can take as many breaths here as you need. Notice how the shoulders come forwards, the elbows clamp into your sides, you keep your belly lifted, So the moment you start to feel your hips dropping, bring your shoulders forwards and just connect with the abdominals. Inhaling, squeeze the shoulder blades back to lift your chest. And then you can stay low into cobra or lift into upward dog and then press the tops of the feet into the floor and peel your heart up to the ceiling. On your next inhale, pull your belly in. So move as slowly as you can. Feel your abdominals pushing your hips up. Connect to the ground with your fingertips. And push even firmer through your thumb and the finger next to it. Soften your knees when you're there. Inhaling. Slowly walk your feet to your hands. But staying on the balls of your feet if you can. Move however you need to get there. Forward fold. Soften the neck, the shoulders. Let your spine cascade down like a waterfall towards the river. Rolling up on the inhale. Now start the motion by pulling your belly in and trying to just gently lift the top of the chest, slide your tailbone down, and then everything just happens naturally from there. Inhaling slowly, open the arms wide, reaching them up and overhead. Let your heels float off the floor when you're there, gently squeezing the butt cheeks into the center. Stacking every joint over one another. Awesome, land your feet. Let's find tree pose. So your choices. Your right foot can stay gently on the floor below the knee or place it above the knee. Doesn't matter where you are. Yeah. And if you want to use support, you can use anything you like, hand on wall or hand on chair or another person. And then mindfully connect to your feet. Press down through your big toe, your little toe. In fact, can you spread your toes wider? Can you feel the outer edge of your foot, of your heel pressing down? What about the inner edge of the foot? What's your ankle doing? Is it wobbling side to side? If you're feeling brave, maybe close your eyes. Did you close your eyes then? If you've got your eyes closed or open, then on the next inhale, peel your foot off of your leg, heel then toe, and then lengthen the leg behind and find a lunge. Front knee bends, back leg, you can drop the knee to the floor if you wish, or keep the back leg long and straight. On the inhale, reach your arms up overhead, and then just notice where your hips are. Does it feel like your pelvis is tilting forwards? Does it feel neutral? Does it feel like it's tucking under too much? Can you find that neutral position in the hips? But actually, you're welcome to bring your hands down there if it feels good. If your arms start to ache a little bit too much, you are welcome to bring them down again to your hips or to any other position that feels good. But try just closing your eyes. It's going to make the balance a lot more challenging. So if you connect to your feet, can you maintain that stability? Can you press really firmly through the inner edge of the foot? Just without the ankle rolling in, without the knee rolling inwards. But you counteract that by also pressing down into the outer edge of the foot. This is the front foot, by the way. Your back leg spread the ball of the foot as wide as possible. What do you notice? Do you feel fatigue? Back leg, pivot the foot down. Keep bending the front knee, turn your chest to the side. Warrior two. Gently lift your heel, bend your knee more, lower the heel down. That way it helps us to open our hips a little bit more. Feeling the muscles connecting. Do you notice your posture changing at all? Maybe you start to relax your hips and you start to arch the back. If you do, then just think about lifting the front of the belly up, sliding the tailbone down and not tucking it under. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. And then bring your hands down to the floor, step back to plank. Knees or toes, exhaling, lower yourself down, take your time. Move as slowly as your body can. And then when you're there, yeah, amazing work. Inhaling into your back bend. Now here, pull the chest open by squeezing the shoulder blades back more, creating that space around the neck. Down the dog on the exhale. Take your time. Feel the connection in your hands with the floor. Slowly walking your feet to your hands. Now, if you want to make this really challenging, imagine you've got one line in the center of the mat and you're on the ball of your feet and you're stepping as close to each foot as you can, lifting the hips as high as you can until you get your hands level with your feet. Or make your way there as you wish, rolling up to stand. Inhale. Exhale, press the feet down. Tree pose. Into the other leg. So again, toe can stay to the floor. And if you do, you still focus on the standing leg and the balance of that standing leg. Or foot a little higher, your choice. Now you choose where you want to put your arms today. Maybe just opening the chest, palms up feels amazing. Maybe it feels better to have the arms overhead or hands to heart, or even just relaxing them down. Now sometimes if your foot rolls in a little bit too much, you may need to strengthen the ankle by lifting the ankle. How about your weight distribution here? Where is it? Are you mostly in the back of your foot? Are you mostly in the front of your foot? Can you spread it evenly throughout? Can you feel your calf working? Slowly peel the foot off of your leg. As you do that, draw the belly in. Lift your hip up a little higher so you have control. Take a long step back into lunge. So back heel is up, hips are square. Inhale, lift the arms. On the exhale, sink evenly between the legs. So really don't worry about what this looks like. Just concern yourself with how it feels. So yeah, and you can drop the back knee down to the floor if you wish for a little bit more support, or to worry less about the balance. But feel like you're pushing all the way from the underneath of your sit bone. So your sit bone through your glute, down the back of your leg, your hamstring, down the back of your calf, into your heel, and then through the inner edge of the foot and toes forwards. So that whole line the force travels through. Connect to that feeling. Back foot, pivot it round. So you're on the outer edge of the foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Rotate your hip and your chest to the side of the warrior two to create the space in the hip. Lift the heel, because that releases the fascia and makes you feel more open. Then sink and then land the heel. So you've got yourself into a deeper place without forcing yourself. Now think perception this time. So how you perceive this pose can have influence how you feel. Do you perceive it as being really hard and painful? Or do you perceive it as being empowering? Knowing that it's building mental resilience in you and that you can tackle the world once you've tackled this pose. Doesn't it change everything? Bring your hands to the ground. Step back into plank. Take another breath in whilst you're here. Lift your belly, pushing to the ground from your armpits and side of the ribcage. Squeeze your thighs from the knees. Knees or toes, your choice. Lower yourself down. Take your time. Challenge yourself here. Inhaling. Yeah, exhale into child's pose. Come up onto all fours and then step one leg forwards, doesn't matter which. And we're going to make our way into swan pose. So lots of choices here. So I'll start with the one that probably most of you are going to do. So you want to make sure that your knee is outside your hip and the shin travels roughly across the width of your body with the hip under the heel of the foot. Or you can choose to sit to the side. So here, if it's a struggle to get into it, take a seated position with the knees bent, then roll the legs to one side, slide the back leg back a touch so you've got two 90-degree angles, and then everyone fold forwards. Again, it doesn't matter where you are, all that matters is what you feel. So we're feeling the release of all of the tension that you're holding in your body. If you want another way of doing this, you can lay onto your back, crossing the ankle over the knee and drawing the knee into the chest. So if that feels like a better alternative for you, then you're welcome to be there. Or maybe if you just want to lay down on the back, that's all good. Now here, think about wriggling your back leg back a little during the full swan. Notice how powerful your breathing is here. So this is all about focus. Often the inhalation helps you to move further into the pose, but the exhalation is the bit where you can really let go. So feel how every exhalation gives you that opportunity to unleash. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. And then slowly walk your hands up, feeling every part of your hand on the floor. Still feeling that connection. We're going to rock onto the side of your butt cheek. Extend the leg that was behind you. That's the leg that's going forwards. Your foot is going to be towards the inner part of your leg. Then just pick your butt cheek up, slide it back a little to open the pelvis and have more space. And then drawing the breath in, lengthen the chest over the leg. Now if your hamstrings are feeling really tight, bend your knee. You can even place things underneath the joint as well for a little bit more support. And what do you feel here? Because everyone really notices something different in this pose. If your hamstrings are tight, then you will notice it predominantly in your hamstrings. Sometimes if your lower back is tighter than your hamstring, you will feel such an amazing stretch down the back, more so than your leg. And sometimes if you do notice that, that's probably stopping you from getting into the full hamstring stretch, but that does not matter. What matters is just feeling and enjoying the sensations, really. Just going to take one more breath in, one more breath out, and then slowly roll up, taking one hand behind the back, squeezing the bum, pressing the hip forwards, and then opening the chest as fully as you can. Such a joyful feeling. Gently lower down, spin your feet round. And let's do the other side. So we begin in the swan. So again, you can choose how you enter the pose, and you can take the leg round, starting at 90-90, or extend the leg fully behind. Play around with the direction of your chest as you lean over your shin, and just explore the place that feels the nicest. If you're going into the full swan pose, lengthening the leg fully behind, rolling your hip over the heel of the foot. And again, you can do the option on your back if you wish as well. Does this side feel different? Does this side feel the same? Take 5 more breaths. Let the exhalation take you exactly where you want to go. When you're ready to move out the pose. Feels so good, doesn't it? I don't really want to move. Walk yourself, your hands back in. Drop your butt cheek down to the side. And then spinning the back leg round. Tucking, keeping your foot tucked in with the bent leg that you just stretched. Maybe sliding the butt cheek back to open the pelvis space. Draw the belly in and find your fold. Sometimes it can feel nice just to get the feeling that you're dragging backwards from the hip. So if you connect to that feeling that you're trying to drag your heel like along the floor, that actually comes from the abdominals. Does anyone else like body making really weird sounds or something? Are you observing that? It's like my body's talking to me. Is your body talking to you? And don't be afraid to just play around with where your chest goes. Sometimes even if you can go all the way down, sometimes you just notice things a little bit differently when you lift your chest up a little bit more. Maybe you notice how one part of your body connects with the ground a little bit more. Everyone's going to be different. Don't worry if you don't notice what I'm describing. I'm just going to take 3 more breaths here. And then slowly rise away from the leg. I'm going to take hand behind the back, squeezing the bum, gently lifting the hips forwards and up, finding length all the way from the toes to the fingers. And can you just gently guide your whole pelvis forward? Slowly lowering back down to the floor. Rolling yourself down onto your back. Drawing the knees into the chest. Gently rocking side to side. And then place your right foot onto the ground, lift your left leg up to the ceiling, And then you slide your right leg out so it's flat along the ground. And then you can bend your left leg if you wish. And I'm just going to roll over into a twist. Nice and slow and controlled. So feel that movement roll onto your right side of your hip. Your left arm reaches out to the side. If you wish to, you can straighten your left leg and slide your hand lower down the leg. And what do you feel here? Sometimes twists can create a little bit of panic because of the rotation that occurs around the lungs. Even though they're protected by your rib cage, sometimes it can just make you a little bit breathless. And that'll just be because we're holding tension in that area. So see if you can relax the back of your rib cage. See if you can relax the lower part of your hips. I mean, say the lower part of your back, even the top part of your hip. And then see if you can feel how your legs can just melt into the ground. You know, you holding tension in your hands as you grip onto your leg. Or can you allow your touch to be soft? Slowly returning back to the center. So just bringing that the left leg in, rolling onto the back of your body, drawing the right leg towards you, lengthening the left leg out so it's flat on the floor. Then lift your right leg up and roll it slowly over to the left side. And then you bend all legs straight, your choice. Reaching the right arm along the ground. Settling into the place that works for you. Noticing everything you can. Where are you holding your tension on this side? Is it in your neck? Is it running down the length of your right arm to your right fingers? Is it around your right butt cheek and lower back, so your QL? Can you let go of any squeeze around your right knee? So imagine that you're creating space in the right knee joint. Does this side feel easier to breathe? Just take 2 more breaths here. And as you return back to the centre, roll onto your back, place your feet flat to the floor, make any adjustments you need in your torso to feel comfortable. Maybe just slide the shoulders under the back a little bit more. Then feel free to lengthen your legs out. And keep the knees bent. Beautiful, beautiful corpse pose. Allow your eyes to close. And then mindfully breathe. So feel the air coming in through the nose. Feel the coolness down the back of the throat. Into or through the lungs. Into the diaphragm. And then feel the release as the diaphragm lets go and lifts. Breathing in through the nose. Feel it travel down the throat, into the lungs, into the diaphragm, and then exhaling, the diaphragm lifts. And we feel magic transferring all over the body. Start to imagine the exhalation is magic. It's removing all of the things that you don't need to hold on to. The exhale is resetting you back to factory settings. The factory settings here are your unique individuality. And taking time to be really mindful in everything that you do, or just even one particular thing that you do, even like the washing up, where you're connecting your brain and concentration to everything that you're doing, every part of every action. Helps you to learn about yourself. It helps you to return back to your unique self, where we're not influenced by other people's opinions. On your next exhalation, feel every single part of your body that's touching the ground. And then that exhalation after that, can you feel yourself melting into it? Sensation. Create us. I'm just going to take one more really mindful breath. Making the most wonderful feeling on the exhalation. And then gently creating movement, purposeful movement, mindful movement, determined movement to return yourself back. And in your own time, in your own way, sit yourself back up. Yay, amazing. I'm just going to unmute you.